Welcome back to episode 4 of Canon Fodder. This is the episode that, for whatever reason, does not want to exist. I'm having a real hard time with this one. I tried recording it. Actually, I had the whole thing recorded, and the audio was messed up. It might still be messed up, but whatever happens from here on out, this is the take. So here we go. I read Descartes' Discourse on Method. Not the first time I've read it. I've read it a couple of times, probably about 10 years ago now. And it was fun going through it this third time or whatever, really just trying to form an opinion about it. The last couple of times I went through it, it was more in an academic context where I had to understand and regurgitate certain things. But now I'm just here figuring out, what it's good for. And if I agree with Descartes, and it was a good experience. I enjoyed it. The thing that really struck me about this book is that you can read it in like two different ways. If you want to just take Descartes as being completely genuine and not being facetious, not being satirical in any way, it reads one way. But I couldn't help but think that maybe he was saying less than he meant in some of these places. And it sort of changed the way I viewed the book. There felt like there was a bit of false humility or elements of him saying things were either possible that probably weren't possible, or that he just kind of glossed over some really important things that probably make a difference for his project. And what was his project? His project was basically to reject all of his presuppositions and everything that he believed to this point forward in his 20 whatever years. He was pretty young. And start with firm foundations. And this is where the famous "I think, therefore I am" comes from. And that's his firm foundation. He knows that he's thinking. He knows that he exists. And from that, he's going to build on all other knowledge. And he has 4 rules for how he does that. And the 4 rules are generally: number 1, accept nothing as true unless it is clearly and distinctly certain. Number 2, divide difficult problems into smaller parts. Number 3, proceed from simpler ideas to more complex. And number 4, sort of be recursive in this and review everything to make sure nothing is missing. And that is his method. And he makes big claims. He's like, yeah, I basically figured everything out using this method. All of my beliefs are sure. He doesn't go into a lot of details about what those are. He talks a little bit about the soul. He talks a little bit about the existence of God. And he talks a little bit about the heart. Actually, he talks more about the heart than you'd expect one to be talking about the heart for a project of this nature. But what really struck me is how, since Descartes is the precursor, maybe even the beginning, the actual foundation of modern rationalism, how much of it just feels very modern, contemporary. It feels like stuff you'd read it on Reddit, to be honest. Like r/atheism, r/skepticism. And the ironic thing is that Descartes was neither an atheist nor, in that sense, a skeptic. But gosh, does it sound like it. And what I did actually, because I thought it was kind of fun, was I took let's find this here. I took some quotes from the book, and I basically had ChatGPT scour Reddit for similar quotes because I knew they were there. So here's Descartes. This was him talking about his method, right? He says, the first was never to accept anything for true which I did not clearly know to be such. And then somewhere on r/atheism, if there's enough evidence to prove it beyond reasonable doubt, accept it, otherwise toss it out. That could have been a skeptical quote as well. The next one is, the ground for our opinions is far more custom and example than any certain knowledge. My religious beliefs were a product of what I was taught to believe rather than inherent truths. Descartes says, I could not do better than resolve at once to sweep them wholly away, basically all of his presuppositions. The next day I started from scratch and approached our knowledge of human history as though I were an alien visiting from space. Or, good sense is of all things among men the most equally distributed, which actually harkens back to our first book that we went through, the Protagoras. For everyone thinks himself so abundantly provided for. Everyone thinks their own viewpoint is the only good or correct one. And the reason I want to sort of bring this up, this sort of crossover here, is because Descartes really was starting something that grew into the modern way of thinking. And for me, that's a strike against him, to be honest. Modernism has done very many good things. We love hospitals and medicine, and the fact that there's methods of making food and getting fresh water and everything. But when it comes to our personal beliefs and philosophies, I think it's harmed humanity. It's definitely sterilized. It's definitely simplified the scope of what we believe. And I don't think those two things had to have happened together. I think you could have technology advancements in technology and science without sort of bulldozing metaphysics. But that's sort of the way that it happened. And I don't actually blame Descartes in the sense that he was just the beginning of this project. I don't think he knew where it would go, but where it went was kind of bad. And I'm not just blaming atheists or skeptics. I think that religious people do this as well. There are, I don't know if you've ever, I mean, how could I know, right? But if you've ever spent any time in spaces, Reddit's a good example, but in spaces where people have moved over from one worldview to another, a lot of times you'll hear language like this, and it sort of ossifies people in their beliefs. They're like, I used to believe this, but then I really dug down. I really inspected all my priors, and I came to another conclusion. And the irony of it is, of course, is that people do that in both directions. People do that from Christian to non-Christian, from Muslim to atheist, from Democrat to Republican. It doesn't really matter. But the idea is that somehow we have sort of created this system where once you're willing to question your priors, the next answer you get is the correct one. So you say, okay, I don't believe Christianity is true, therefore I'm an atheist and I'm sure of it. Or I don't believe atheism is true, now I'm a Buddhist, I'm positive that's the case. Bad example, I guess, because I guess a Buddhist could be an atheist. But it's just this surety and this sense of, once I've accomplished this task of questioning what I was brought up to believe or my presuppositions, then now I'm right. And it's just, I don't think it's helpful. But there's definitely more to the book than that. One other thing to think about when it comes to Descartes and this book in particular, he comes to a lot of conclusions that are from a modern perspective silly, right? If you read his last chapter on the heart, the way he explains the circulatory system, there's a lot of stuff that's correct in there, but a lot of it's like weird. And it just goes to show that you can be sure, based on all the information you have at any given time, that you're in the right place. But more stuff is going to become available, and there has to be some level of openness, I think, to sort of offset those possibilities. And I'm not saying don't ever have a belief system. That's not what I mean at all. But I think that the rationalist approach to a belief system creates fragile belief systems. If you want to have a belief system based on more than just rationality and logic, I think a lot of religious people have that, where there is a certain level of subjectivity, a certain level of experiential knowledge, relational knowledge. A lot of people will mention or will cite, a relationship with God. Um, I think that's going to hold water a lot better than just sort of this logical conclusion that Descartes is trying to suggest is the way to go. So, all in all, I enjoyed reading it. It was another quick book. I appreciate the opportunity to approach these books from a different perspective, trying to have a conclusion, trying to, um, assess maybe not the value, but like the value that I can glean from a book. And it's been a lot of fun. So I hope that some of these thoughts were helpful, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do next. So stick around. Thanks.